Welcome back to the field. It's July 6th. We're standing in a field of channel 215-25 Tricepta, looking really good here around the office south of Eckley. Planted early, April 25th, 26th time frame. So we want to talk about this week is kind of fertility, where we're at nitrogen wise, if we're seeing any deficiencies at this point. Right now we're at V12, V13 almost in this corn. It's really taken off the last week to 10 days. So for V10 corn to V12, we need about 130 pounds of N on at this point. Theoretically, that's what a V12 plant would take up. So to keep in comparison, or to think about how much we need by the time we get to early tassel or VT, we need at least 200 pounds when we get to VT. This is for a 240, 250 bushel corn crop. So keep that in mind. We really need to start cranking up the nitrogen if we're spoon feeding it through the pivot to make sure we get to that 200 to 220 pounds by the time we get to VT. So some of the things that we need to look at when we're out scouting this week, you know, the lower leaves here, this got hailed early on. You can see some of these bottom leaves are stripped. Kind of hard to see some nutrient deficiencies at this point on those older leaves. But for those nutrients that are mobile in the plant, specifically nitrogen and sulfur, are things we're looking at right now, and potassium as well. We need to keep an eye on those. We need to look at the lower leaves because it'll translocate those nutrients, nitrogen, sulfur, and potassium. It'll translocate them from older leaves to newer leaves. So deficiencies always show up lower in the canopy. So these older leaves, really no leaf margin or midrib signs of nutrient deficiency. Nitrogen always shows up as a V shape in the mid. Potassium is always marginal on the leaf margins, shows up as burns. So nothing drastic right here. No signs of sulfur deficiency as well lower in the canopy. So we don't have any tissue samples back from this field yet. We'll be taking them here soon, but things look good. Lower canopy looks nice and healthy. So those are some of the things to keep an eye out this week in the field. As far as pests go, we really have had low incidence. We're starting to see grasshoppers around some field borders last week. So keep an eye on grasshoppers. If you've had historic pressure around field edges, they're probably coming back last week and this week. Spider mites are the other thing. Really relatively low spider mite populations as of right now. But with this heat and the heat predicted over the next 10 days, you can guarantee that spider mites are going to start to flare and populations are probably going to grow. So with that, we'll wrap up this week's Agronomy Alert, and we'll see you next week.